Hi everyone. Now in today's video I have a small little downspout job to do at the United Church here in town. So I'll show you what the problem is. Now on this corner right here, it's just not sloped right. So it's draining to this corner, and then of course all the sealant has worn out and it drips on the steps here. So I'm just gonna put a downspout going down here, and yeah, I'll walk around and sort of check out how they did it on the other end. Now on this side, which is just across from there, you can see that's sort of how they did it, so that's what I'll try to mimic. I think rather than fastening into the brick, I'll try to fasten into that freeze board up there. And then, yeah, I'll just have to drill a hole and fasten into the stucco down there. So I'll do another walk around and just see how they did it on the other ends. And imagine it's quite similar. Now this end here is probably a prime example. See how they fastened into that freeze board up there? I don't know if I can zoom in. And then, yeah, sort of right into the parging just below the brick there. So I think that is what I'll do. Now all of the career safety enthusiasts are gonna be on me for sure. But the reason I brought the skid steer over is because it's right above the stairs. There's no real way to set a ladder, and I don't have a boom lift or anything, so I'm just gonna lift the pallet up and that'll get me up there, work off the pallet. So now that I'm up here, the first thing that I want to do is take one of my elbows, and the end of this corbel is right in line with that freeze board, but I want to move it out about 3/4 of an inch so it comes in line with that piece of molding there. So I'll just sort of eye that up, and then I'll just kind of roughly trace the edges of this onto here. Now it doesn't have to be incredibly precise because I got an insert somewhere in the box here. Yeah, so this will slip into the hole, and then it'll just give it a nice secure connection, because sometimes you just make an X in there and bend the flaps down, but whenever I do that and try to put a screw into it, it just pushes that flap over, and it's just a lot nicer to have one of these inserts. I'll still do that same method just so it doesn't have any jagged edges, but yeah, we'll go with that for now. And I will grab a drill bit. Kind of hard working up here because you only have a pallet to work off of, so you don't have a whole lot of space to lay stuff out. Just go for the biggest size right away. Fair share of junk in there. I might have to address that first. Okay, I will get up on that roof and come over and clean all that junk up there. Now from up here you can really tell how the slope is bad. It's got all this ice and garbage collecting over here, so that'll drain a lot better now. Alright, now that I got all that gunk and ice cleaned out of there, this is gonna get messy. Try to stand. So that's sort of precisely what happens in the summertime. It just drips out this end and goes all over the step, or in the winter too when it freezes. I think that's what the main concern was. But I will cut this open, give it a little bit of time to drain out of there. I need to get some of those right-angled snips that come around like that. That would make this job a whole lot easier. Try the Midwests. Be a little smaller. Or actually, you know what? I got this nibbler. I'll just do that. That's what I brought it over here for. This will give me a little bit of a better angle, I'm thinking. Maybe not. I do not like this thing. Yeah, there's no way to, like, I wish it was in like this orientation, but I'm gonna have to use the snips, whether I like it or not. Looks like I'm gonna have to tighten some screws in this thing too. Oh, that's gross. Gets easier once you got your first cut made and you can kind of bend it back. Now it goes a little easier. Ugh, got it all running down the inside of my sleeve. Okay, I'm gonna just let that drip for a little bit so I don't get all covered. Alright, so now that I got this, oh, I almost dropped my caulking gun. Now that I got this open here, I'm gonna try to do my best to clean all the mud and stuff out of the way, just so I can get a good seal with the butyl. Now, personally, I really don't like these conventional North American eaves troughs because they utilize a lot of caulking and, like, you know, sealants that are applied during the installation. You know, the European style gutters like Lindab and whatnot, they have rubber gaskets on all the connections, so it's just a much better quality system. But this will basically just slide in there like that. It's kind of a tight fit. Just gonna snip those corners. Just actually, there's lots of room for that to push. Now, I'll take some butyl here, and I'm using butyl because it doesn't ever really dry out. Like, it always kind of stays wet. Like, it's probably sort of your best bet for gutters like this. And I'll try to get, it's not really sticking because it's so wet in here. Just got to get it to sit there for a little bit. Jesus. What a disaster. Maybe if I apply it onto this thing, that'll work better. I'm thinking. Get a good healthy bead on there. Now it's not a matter of if this is going to leak again, it's when. So, and that's just the thing, this sealant, it'll only last for so long before it just needs to be touched up and replaced. Okay, this is hard to do with a glove on. That's why I hate winter. Get that right down nice and tight. Press that noodle out. And I mean this, the gutter is gonna go over top of that anyways. That's why I left sort of that flap. Now I gotta figure out how to clean my hand. So, I mean, that butyl's not really doing a whole lot, but it's just a little bit of extra insurance that it won't leak. All right, now we're back down on the pallet. And as you can see, that's what I was talking about, how I left those flaps. So this will slip over top of all the flaps. So everything is being directed into the gutter, or the downspout, I should say. Okay, there we go. Might have to just give those a little bit of a notch. Just so it fits up and over nicely. There we go. I like that. Okay, now I'll grab my white screws. Hope those are white. I just grabbed a random box. And I put this bit. There's just nowhere to hold anything up here. I'm just kind of setting everything wherever I can. I'll just do one at a time because they're so small and hard to handle. Yeah, now typically if you do that, it would just push that flap in if you didn't have that little insert. And we'll just, can't really get to that other side, so I'll just put one up on the front there. Okay, now that is ready to go, and I guess I'll have to go back down because I left that small piece of downspout down. Now, this, you can tell it's doing its job already because all the water's coming out of there and not leaking through here. But what we want to do is just kind of force it up just a little bit so it's on that freeze board. And we'll want to come right to the edge. I'll put it right at the edge of the step, I think, and then I'll put a big long kick out on it so it runs into the grass and not along the side of the building. So this I'll put, I could even come a little bit closer. I'll give it a little bit of room. I don't want to go way out so I hit the cornerstone, but I'll put it cut it right there. That'll give me, yeah, that'll give me enough to put a strap there and everything. Okay, so yeah, I got my grinder up here, that's good. Now this one, I'll make this the top, and then this, what's this end? These are sort of tricky because there's no, I didn't have a tapered end on that piece, but I can make my own tapered end. That's not a big deal. Sort of force all those corners in just a little bit. There, you have your own tapered end. That should slip on relatively easily. There we go. Square it up a little bit. Now before I put this on, I'll want to make a strap. Now I just grabbed this piece of scrap white metal, cut it about an inch, inch and a quarter thick. Now I know you can buy straps for this, but I've got so much scrap aluminum and steel laying around that they're like $1 a piece or $2 a piece. It just doesn't make sense when I can just make them. I better hold this. I'll hold it in the right position first, just so I can get an idea. Yeah, see, now this end of the elbow is tapered, so I don't have any issues with it going on. Yeah, we'll put that strap right on the corner. Something just about like that. Fold your ends around, make it nice and tight, nice and square. Put a little bit more of a kink in that one. Tuck everything in, fits nice. Grab another screw. And this is kind of hard to do with one hand. Be nice to have a helper in this situation, but I'm by myself today. So that goes something like that. And then you can kind of adjust the angle on there, get it pointing down. Grab another screw. Now you want to avoid putting screws in the bottoms, obviously, because that'll be a leak point. Can't reach, but get one in the top there. Okay, now I'll grab a full length, and it'll be a full length and a half probably, because this is quite high. It'd be all of like 17 feet high, because I think my skid steer reaches 10 feet off the ground. Well, maybe not quite. That ladder's 12, so it would reach about 9 feet. So yeah, it'd be like 16 feet off the ground. Now again, it's important to be conscientious of your orientations. I always like to put this joint to the back, just so you don't see it, and tapered end to the bottom, so your next piece can connect nicely to it. Now the wind is gonna make me struggle here. Get that on there nicely. Good connection. Hopefully it doesn't fall down while I grab a screw. I'm gonna run out of screws here, I think. Come on. And for these, we'll just put them on the sides. There. Now I will go down and drill a hole in that parging. Now for this one, just because of the landscaping in this area, sometimes it's hard to tell which is the tapered end. Yeah, that one. Because of the way the landscaping is done up here, I'm gonna run a full 10-footer, because I don't know if you can tell on camera, but it slopes in. But once you get 10 feet out past the sign there, it sort of slopes the other way. So what I want to do, it'll sort of just follow the slope of the stairs almost. So all I will need, if I can grab my tape measure by myself, is a chunk, say 32 inch will go. I'll cut one to that, and then that'll be it. Yeah, over here, you know, I don't even think this is right. This is all gonna flow that way, just by the looks of it. I mean, maybe it'll kind of pool over here, but that should definitely be kicked out more. But they never mentioned anything to me about it, so I'm not gonna touch it. I'll just do what I was told to do. So very important that we start from our tapered end, 32. Now this will go on like that, but I'm gonna wait to do that until I drill my hole. Just do a 1/4 inch hole, keep it simple. Make sure we're relatively plumb there, and I'll drill it right about there. Oh, I need to be in hammer drill mode, not just hammer mode. Now I don't want to go too deep. Now that did go into a brick by the looks of it. Should be deep enough. I'm only going to be using shorter screws. And what did I do with that chunk of wood? Now, I don't know what all the pro veteran carpenters in my comments section are gonna say about this, but in my opinion, this is a perfectly acceptable method to anchor something as small and, you know, as weightless as a downspout to concrete, or not concrete, but a masonry connection. Get yourself some little slivers of wood. We'll start with the bigger one. Just shove them in there. Gonna need quite a few for that 1/4 inch hole. There, I got a good, decent chunk. So once you start to get to the end like that, just take it and pound it in with your hammer. Now what that does, there's so much pressure from that wood, it's gonna hold it into the parging, obviously. I don't think I can fit another one in there. Yeah, it just ends up breaking off. But now that'll give me a point where I can attach a regular wood screw, and I don't have to use a tap con or anything. I don't think a tap con would work very well in a clay brick anyways. That's more for concrete. Now I just had this 1/4 inch metal roofing screw in my pouch, so that is what I'll use. Poke a hole in it first to get it started. Now that is a secure connection. That's not going anywhere. Take my other piece. Slip it up. And then I'll fold this one this way first and then this way, just so facing the steps you can't see the connection. I better get this stuff sorted first. I don't have many. Oh, I only got 4 left. That should be all I need though. What did I do with that bit? Load it up. Now because that strap is right there, there's no need to screw that in really. Load another one. I won't need the ladder anymore. That can just sit like that. And I guess one more, or actually I'm gonna leave that disconnected just because I used to mow the lawn here when I was a kid and at several other places, and it would always piss me off when people would attach these. I mean, that's why I put it right close to the concrete, keeping lawn mowing in mind. But if you ever want to whippersnip or anything, it's just handy to be able to quickly disconnect that. I know I would do that all the time to downspouts. So I'll just leave that. It'll never fall off. For whatever reason it does, it's easy to disconnect. But yeah, now there's a completed downspout. Matches the other side, looks symmetrical. Actually looks better with both of them there. So yeah, I'll pack everything up and be done with this one. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. One thing I was thinking of here, the cornerstone there, I sort of laughed when they found the time capsule in the courthouse cornerstone. Nobody knew it was there, and I was like, really? Like, I always figured there was a time capsule in there, and there's definitely a time capsule in there too, so I don't know when they'll ever open it, but it's kind of neat. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for more videos. I'll try my best to start making more. So yeah, like, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you in the next one.